wanna fly away. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Hi. It is I, Adam Pecora, aka the customer service resident bad boy. That was for real my nickname at one point. Look that shit up. Welcome to another episode of Requiem for a Tuesday. We about to get lit, you know? Coming up real soon, like in less than 15 minutes, I got an interview with the homies in Lenny. I wouldn't call it so much an interview. I'm not a journalist by any means. But yeah, we talked. They got a new album out. It's awesome. Please go check it out. I'm going to say that a bunch of times. And as always, please rate, review, subscribe, share, blah, 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 whatever for this podcast. And you can follow me on Instagram at adam.rfat. Yeah, and I got links to all my music and stuff on there, as I keep saying. But yeah, a little bit of pre-talk before we get in. Just got an update on my thoughts on the scrumptious NFL draft. Now, it would be easy to diss the only thing that I'll complain about, like, I didn't like the fact that Roger Goodell was like turning around and talking to people on the screen and they were just yelling at him. I thought that was dumb and hokey, and I didn't like that they made it like a show with a host. Like, why is he the host of the draft? He's just supposed to MC the picks. But I mean, hey, given the situation, everything they did was fucking amazing. Like technically wise, it was fantastic. Although I don't have cable, so I had to watch on ABC. And for those who didn't watch on ABC, let me tell you, they turned it into fucking Rosemary's Special. Okay, I don't even know what that means, but basically, every single pick, if they had a sob story, the people from the draft really tracked it down and made sure that they talked about it. And it made me uncomfortable by about the third time because it's like, oh, this whole thing is just sad. And they had the college football guys on the coverage. And it's like, this is the NFL draft, okay? This isn't about college anymore. And they spent all this time either talking about how somebody died or overcame some crazy thing. And it's like, that's sad. You're already sandwiching in all this pandemic corona, information. It's like, that's already enough as it is. You don't really need to go to like another level with it, right? But anyway, so that's what I was thinking about that. But then they also, like, what I missed about it was that back in the day when I used to watch the draft, they had NFL guys on. Now I know that they did, and I missed it because I'm poor. That's not fair to me, but whatever. But like, they didn't talk about it. Like, what does it mean for the team? They're like, oh, well, he was great in college. It's like, yeah, well, no shit. This is the first round of the NFL draft. I mean, I don't think anybody that played poorly in college is going to show up. Mitchell Trubisky. But anyway, that is not a rabbit hole that I want to go down at all. But yeah, I mean, they were kind of just like, yeah, he was dope in college. And it's like, yeah, I know, can you talk about what this means for the team? And then like trades would happen and they wouldn't say what happened. Like, they wouldn't explain the trade. And then they were just super ready to tell their next sob story. It's like, these are tragic times. I get that you're acknowledging them so people don't throw shade at you for like throwing an NFL draft in the middle of the thing, which, first of all, every single pick totally disobeyed all social distancing guidelines. So that's already not a good look. So you can stop talking about the whole thing. Like, you're not insensitive for hosting the draft. You know what I mean? Like, don't apologize for like fucking doing a thing. Like, it didn't put anybody at fucking harm. Like, you have no reason to like act like you need to apologize for something or like need to make some kind of excuses, NFL. Okay? God. But no, I mean, it was nice to acknowledge all that stuff. But I just think, like, why are we searching for all these more sad stories? Why don't we talk about how this guy can jump fucking 6 feet in the air? You know what I mean? Like, what happened to that? What happened to celebrating all the athletics? You know what I mean? It's like, I already live a sad life. You know what I mean? What I love about these guys is they could fucking run and jump and do a bunch of crazy shit. I want to see you knock somebody's fucking head off, man. I don't want to know about all the bad things that have happened to you. That just makes me feel terrible. Stop it, Roger. with your fucking sweater vest, changing clothes and shit. But no, I mean, props to them for making it all happen and keeping it clean. I mean, it ran like a well-oiled fucking machine. They were on top of it. Uh, I mean, I just had to share, because this is the first and probably only time that anything like this has ever happened before, and it's totally batshit insane. So, I mean, the 10 out of 10, like, for that execution. Like, that's why, like, if they were trying to pull that and this was just a regular draft, I'd be like, why did they change the focus to this? Like, no football fan wants this. But like they kind of made it so people who don't give a shit about football can also watch a program because like they knew they were going to get the ratings bump. So I respect all that. It makes sense. But like let's keep it a football fans like only program next time, regardless of the scenario. Cuz I think would you rather have more ratings or like a better reception? And I mean, obviously, most people, especially when you're in that size of a business, you're going to want the bigger ratings regardless. Especially because like the NFL product isn't going to change. Anyway, this is a weird way to lead in to a punk band conversation. I understand that. So I'm going to pivot from this and then we'll kind of all recover together, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say that I made a purchase. Okay, I'm trying to stay off of the internet shopping. I know how tempting it can be. You're at home all day. You're like, what could I use to slightly make an improvement in my life? Right here, right now. And one of my temptations, which I have not yet executed on because the price is not really justifiable given my current financial situation. Okay, not that anybody asked. But there's this thing called a bed shelfie, which I hate the name. Just call it a bed shelf. I found it by searching bed shelf because I was like, how doesn't this exist? Basically, I don't have enough room for a nightstand next to my bed. But like the drawer next to my bed has a bunch of shit on it already. So give me just a nice little nightstand, Xbox controller and 2 remotes. Like that's all I really need. Maybe put my water on it if it's strong enough. But I do use an old 40-ounce bottle, so it gets pretty heavy when it's full. No, I mean, don't judge me for that. It allows me to have 40 ounces of water at all times, and I bought this bottle for $2.39. Okay, you have a fucking $60 iron flask. You don't even drink a whole thing in a day. All right, I'm experiencing water as a water drinker. Okay, not as a trendsetter. Anyway, what was I saying? Bed shelf. Yes. Anyway, they want $30 for this thing. It basically just clamps onto the side of your bed. But I'm like, I can't think of any clamps that would work this way to where I could do it myself. So I guess you win. But I don't know. It's a brilliant idea. I mean, you can put anything there. It just makes sense. You know how often you go to bed with something in your hands and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna have to put this on a thing later. But no, the bed shelf is there. I feel like it would almost make eating in bed a little bit more acceptable. Now, I'm still not okay with it. Like, I'll, like, sit on my bed and lean over, so everything that may drop would drop on the floor. I'm not a fucking animal. But, I mean, just think how nice it would be. You get your nice little bowl of beans, and you just set it right there to cool off, and it's right there, and you can lean over, take a little spoonful of beans. Straight to the dome? Bedside? That sounds like a dream come true to me. That's the America I want to live in. But the purchase that I actually made, I made a full-on commitment to this one, has been in my head for a long time, because I'm like, oh man, I wish I could just hang with some suave, cool daddy guys. You know what I mean? And I thought to myself, like, who in the history of film has ever had a better time just hanging out on camera? And I was like, the fucking Ocean Boys, right? So I bought the entire trilogy. Still waiting for it to arrive, by the way. I cannot wait. I'm going to spend an entire evening comatose on whatever I can get my hands on. If I get to drink Listerine, so be it. I think I have enough to keep myself covered and avoid that, but I wouldn't put it past me. I got some old pain pills in the cabinet. But I can't think of a more appropriate movie for like the times. Simply because that movie is just pure fun. Pure unadulterated fun, like made well, made stylistically, you know. All three of them. Um and it's like I would like to just escape and let me just have fun with these beautiful men just having a blast, being friends on yachts. You know what I mean? And they were just like having fun, playing little pranks on each other behind the scenes. You know, it was a bunch of little boys at camp, only their camp was Vegas and they wore Armani suits and like, you know what I mean? And they're just like pulling fucking millions. It's the most ideal dream scenario one could ever think of. I mean, like, if you just want to have a pleasant, fun, great ride, and I think nobody gets hurt. Like, it's just, mwah, you know, kudos to you. And then the second one, they're just like, ha, this one's a sequel. We're going to talk about how it's a sequel throughout the whole movie. We're going to make a whole bunch of crazy things and do meta stuff and have a great time. But we're also going to do it in Europe. So we're going to hang out amongst all these beautiful buildings and works of art and continue to just be suave, cool daddies eating fucking shrimp cocktails, wearing leather pants, you know, going absolutely insane. It's the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. So, yeah, the plan is I'm going to watch all three back to back. Like, I know some people are like, you ever watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy in one sitting? And I'm like, bro, have you ever had a good time? Not a diss to Lord of the Rings people. I don't need to get into a whole Clerks 2 level debate here. Okay, we can keep it PG. Or I guess PG-13 if you're a fucking Peter Jackson stan. Am I right? Return of the King fan 69? Boy, takes me back. I will leave a little bit of insight here. I'm going to go deep into my psyche. I will tell you my first AOL screen name, circa probably 2002, maybe? A far different time from the land we currently live in today. But my original username, which I thought was brilliant, and to this day, I still kind of rep. It's kind of sick. It's kind of aged pretty well. And I'm proud of that fact. I was Spidertronic502. You know what? This had to be at least 2002 because it was definitely that name due to a love for Spider-Man, and the movie was the cause of that. So it was at least 2002 because I hate spiders. I'm deathly afraid of all bugs of all kinds, all credences, all shapes, sizes, and leg amounts. All of them. All of them. Don't ask. Everybody always asks. Even this one? What did I say? All of them. Did I say most or did I say all of them? I said all of them. Anyway. That was also around the same time frame of which I was mastering the greatest wrestling game of all time, No Mercy for N64. Now, that may be purely on memory and nostalgia because I know that Day of Reckoning for GameCube is definitely the best in gameplay for sure. And the create mode was pretty sick. And the story was fine. You know, it was all good. That's one of the... No, I'm underplaying it. That's one of my favorite games of all time. That's right up there with like the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom thing that I went off on before. They're remastering it. I can't wait. I hope that hasn't been brought down in the pipeline. Or it might be out already. I really don't know what's going on. I'm kind of just losing it here. But yeah, my character on No Mercy, he was super sick. He wore Hardy Boy pants, Cactus Jack shirt. His name was Blood Skull Breakstone, and he fucking beat the shit out of everybody. It took every single available letter. It was all one word. He was awesome. So that and Spidertronic502. So take that exhilarating information and do with it what you will. We're going to pivot from all of that insanity that I just went through. And I told you it would be about 15 minutes in. I wasn't lying. You know, I don't make fucking promises I can't cash. Let's just dive right in. This is me chatting with the homies in Lenny. Hope you enjoy. All right. So I am here with the coolest band in Chicago for sure. My homies. We have, well, not the full band, but we got Taylor and Ryan From Lenny.
Hi, y'all.
What's up?
How y'all doing?
Doing good.
Great.
Besides the sound check, this is like the first time I'm actually talking to you, Adam.
I know, right? It has been a minute. Good way to catch up.
Very professional.
Yeah.
It's the only reason to do podcasts. Catch up.
So, before we dive in, if y'all want to plug anything and everything, Ryan or Taylor, both of you, whatever, feel free.
Ryan, you got the plug down.
Yeah.
Plug it.
So you can find us on Instagram at Lenny is cool, is spelled IZ. And then you can find us on all major streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music under that same name. But our band name is just Lenny. On Facebook, I think that might be the only thing that's just Lenny. And Bandcamp.
Yeah, or we are Lenny, but I think it is mostly everything is Lenny is cool.
Cool.
Tight. Well, the EP's cool. The EP's super cool. I dig it a lot. I remember seeing you guys like way back when you first started. You had like a different member and stuff. You've definitely come like a super long way. Real proud of you guys. So yeah, talk about the EP a little bit. Give us the deets.
We feel kind of the same way. We feel like we've come a long way. I feel like this EP is like 2 years in the making, even though it's like a 20-minute EP.
Yeah, I know.
Been a lot of times. Yeah, just the songs, like even I think the last two songs specifically, Waiting and Alex, those are like the first two songs we wrote like 2 years
like
ago.
From the beginning.
Yeah, and so those songs changed so much. I'd say, those were like reworked the most from like our initial when we first started this project, and then the other 4 songs kind of came closer to when we were actually recording.
So you guys kind of just like hit a vibe and like rocked it out.
Definitely, yeah. I don't think we actually kind of settled on a real band style until Abby kind of joined. And then we kind of started thinking about the EP.
Yeah, I guess I'm still not sure if we have a distinct style. I'm still not really sure about that.
I like to think.
I guess that's what's exciting
a little
about
concise.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys had to like describe yourselves to somebody, what would you try to
we've
say?
had that conversation about the elevator pitch.
I know we've never really prepared this elevator pitch besides making like Lenny Kravitz jokes.
I mean, that's not a bad way to start.
It is. Oh yeah. So we didn't really talk about the name. The name Lenny, which is usually the first question we get. So we started booking time in our practice space as Lenny Kravitz as a joke, but also for our mutual love for the man.
The myth, the legend.
And, the legend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then it just started becoming too long to type out Lenny Kravitz, so then we just
just slowly became Lenny.
Yeah, and realized there might be some copyright problems with that.
Maybe just a little bit.
That was the ultimate goal, though, was to get his attention.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a quick way to blow up. Get famous through TMZ.
Oh, the ultimate goal, yeah.
We should have just been TMZ. Should have called ourselves TMZ.
That's the next project. Don't tell me about that yet.
Right.
And then also, I haven't talked about it on here really, but we also all took part in that Friends Cover Friends thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys want to talk about that a little bit. I know Taylor, you did Lena's song, right? Who like put the whole thing together?
I did. Yeah, I did do Lena's song. I was a little worried. I took the song and I kind of listened to it a couple times, and then I just took it my own way, and it became sort of ska at the end. I don't know how that happened, but I was a little afraid she'd be offended by my ska interpretation, but she was super down for it. And I liked the idea. I think it was super motivating in this time. I know I felt kind of a struggle to create, even though I have an excessive amount of time. The motivation has been oddly absent. But I think that Friends Cover Friends was such a good initiative to get some motivation going again in like a close knit kind of music community. So I really enjoyed it, and it's so cool that y'all covered our song. Like, what did you think about that process? Can I ask the interviewer?
Oh yeah, for sure. So just a little bit of back information for any listeners. There's this project. Is it just Friends Cover Friends at Bandcamp?
Yeah, somehow we got that.
Yeah, wow.
Mhm.
I was kind of surprised that that was available. Yeah, so friendscoverfriends.bandcamp.com. Like all like a group of like knit musicians that know each other. We all just kind of covered each other's songs, and Lena Sutter put it all together. Shout out big time. And
For sure.
yeah, it came out super awesome. Covering you guys was weird. Mostly because we've never recorded like separate. Everything we've always done was together. And we always talked about like passing stuff back and forth and like testing it like that, but we've never actually done it before.
Oh wow, that's super interesting to think about. Yeah, I think you and maybe Brian were the only ones to collaborate with someone else on that.
Yeah,
on that album.
yeah,
Might be wrong,
Justice just wanted it to be like our band covering your like band, like, and I thought that that was a cool idea. But it was hard. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, especially kind of like what you said, Taylor. Like motivation's not really there, kind of just because like there are no deadlines. I feel like.
Totally.
So then like when Justice is like, all right, we got to whip this up. We got a couple days. I'm like, oh shit. And shout out to him. He did most of the heavy lifting, though. What did you guys think? You guys like the cover?
Yeah, I love, like, speaking to what Taylor was saying earlier, how everybody kind of took creative liberties with their covers. That it sounds nothing like the original, and like the last like minute of that where everything just goes wild. That's still my favorite part of what you all did.
I appreciate that, as that was my major contribution.
So like wall of sound.
And like I got that part. He's like, just send me that shit when you're like done. But like I'm gonna make it really done.
Yeah. I have fun with my pedals sometimes. But I don't know, like that too. I feel like whenever you cover a song, I feel like I don't like cover songs that try too hard to be the same, just because then you're going to be disappointed. Like, you know what I mean? Because like,
there's something to be said. Yeah.
Like it was already done one exact way once. You have to do like at least a little something, I think.
Yeah, or find what you find, I guess, inspiring about the song, and kind of emphasize that on your own terms.
Right, absolutely. Like I know, like they made like a shot-for-shot remake of the movie Psycho. And
did they really?
Yeah, with Vince Vaughn is as Norman Bates.
So what was the Vince Vaughn choice in that?
Well, everything. I mean, that's probably a bad start. I think he was just like trying to break out of like the typecast.
Yeah, I feel like he's tried that a couple times.
No, I want to say it was like mid to late 90s. Okay. There's a reason why like you probably haven't heard of it. It's because like you can't do a shot-for-shot remake. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting thought. Like, I wonder if, not to get too into this question, I'm sure it wasn't meant to be this, but like if you make a shot-for-shot movie, but then you just make it in a different time period and with different actors, like it feels like it focuses more on the time in which it was made and the actors themselves. So maybe Vince Vaughn was on some real like crazy shit with agreeing to that Psycho shot-for-shot remake. Maybe they bring into some real philosophical implications. But
there's actually some like performance art.
I mean, I guess it could be deeper than I thought.
We're giving them too much credit.
Don't underestimate that. Yeah.
I mean, if Vince Vaughn ever needed a PR spin for that movie, I think that's it.
That was it. Yeah, hire me.
But yeah, I mean, wow, I totally lost track of where we were. Now I'm lost in that Psycho thing.
Well,
just keep going through your filmography.
No,
we were talking about the. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. Have you guys been working on like any kind of like songs maybe still in the process during this whole quarantine thing?
Not since the quarantine. Like not me personally. Maybe Taylor's got some ideas baking, but there's like 2 songs we left off the EP that we wanted to record, but
Ooh.
yeah. So there are songs that we were playing live that aren't on the EP. I think we have enough material that we could have done a full album, but
Yeah.
we just didn't book enough studio time.
Yeah, I think we were actually about to get back and work on a song that we wanted to play because we had a couple shows booked. We had a show booked for Record Store Day.
Damn.
We were gonna play at
That's awesome.
Sleeping Village. Yeah, Sleeping Village was supposed to be a release show.
That was gonna be a release show, but where were we gonna play for Record Store Day? What was the record store?
Suga.
Wow,
Shuga,
really? That would have been awesome too.
Yeah, and it was gonna be really great at Sleeping Village too. They were letting us curate the whole lineup, and we were gonna have a pretty punk influenced lineup of people. Yeah, but we had some songs that we wanted to play at the shows that unfortunately it just kind of all happened that way that we ended up never pushing and learning those songs and making them ready to be played live. But I think we definitely had some things because it's just funny that we're just coming out with this EP right now because we've been playing these songs, since the first show we've played live. We just haven't had anything recorded for the 12 shows that we've played, basically. So it's interesting because it's a new thing because it's recorded, right? And we had to go through that whole process. But generally speaking, it's not new music to us. It's music that we've had for some time now. So,
right. Like you've known it the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we have been kind of anxious to make new things, and we were working on that, but just bad timing, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think yeah, nobody was ready. I mean, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's a lot of awesome stuff that you're going to come out of this with, though, right back onto the grind for sure.
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting place deciding how to release things and promote things when, everyone was already on digital everything, on media, and like the whole marketing aspect of that is important. But there's a lot of marketing in just playing shows and getting in front of faces. And I think we were really excited for the release, planning an entire release show around this EP release, and having to figure out how to do that all digitally has definitely been kind of jarring. But we decided to push it and not to keep waiting because I think we have enough people that were semi interested in it. But I think it's gonna be a long journey for bands to come back from this, and I'm not sure what the music scene is gonna look like after this.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. So, there's I've heard a couple comedians talk about a similar thing where when everything opens back up, obviously every date's going to get pushed for anybody who was booked somewhere. So if you were right there, you were about to get booked, now your whole thing gets pushed, and it's just kind of dominoes everybody backwards,
Right.
So yeah, it is going to be weird. It's going to be weird to see is there just going to be a show every night everywhere? Because that could also be totally awesome then. You know what I mean? If just options open up.
Yeah, it's funny that one thing Ryan said, all these live stream events that have been happening too, it's kind of funny because some of them are actually starting to very much so mirror the actual DIY scene, and people just aren't really showing up to the live stream events either.
Right.
But I think it'll be interesting moving forward how the population feeds art through digital connection. Because I think what's always been tough, at least personally, with marketing and advertising as a musician, is that you have to do it, and there's so many people that are also doing it. And now that we don't even have the avenue of shows right now, it's kind of a weird elephant that you've feel like you have to put even more time into, which is kind of odd as an artist to have so much of a like a need to market. And now it feels like it's just kind of exponential, and you have to stay, you know, in front of people's faces in order to get any sort of recognition for the work you put in, you know. So I think that's going to be a 30 showing itself to be kind of an odd thing, but there's a lot of ingenuity, I guess, and creativity that's coming from it. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's fun to see everybody like virtually come together in a weird way, like almost as if like, hey, I know that like right before quarantine I was probably kind of a dick to a lot of strangers. And it's like I'm totally like I get it now, you know what I mean? I feel like once like shows can happen again, they're also going to just be like a lot more lively. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to be so much more excited to be there. I don't think people will be on their phones and stuff as much, you know?
Yeah, that's a real interesting.
That's a nice outcome.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
I agree with that.
Especially for you guys, like I definitely know like why you would be missing out. Like obviously playing shows is like a ton of fun and all of that, but like you guys have a lot of energy and like your performances are really lively, and like I can see why like losing that is a big loss. Because like you guys just go out there and you really like, you know, you just kick ass the whole time.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I think that's what we started to realize about our shows that people like the most was that, and especially when we do that, you know, the favorite song at the end of the night.
Every time you gotta play it.
Yeah.
That's the closer, you know.
I mean, how long until you get sick of it? You think ever?
I
mean,
know.
now I would play a whole set of just that song like 10 times.
Like
For
we
those
took advantage
listening,
of it.
the song we're referring to is a bonus track on Bandcamp. If you download our album, you can find out what we're talking about.
The secret sauce.
The secret sauce.
The secret cover.
Did you guys look into licensing? How serious did you get?
Oh, not at all. I mean, that's why it's a bonus track. Yeah, he doesn't know. Mr. Kravitz, if you're listening.
He doesn't know yet. Just wait.
Yeah.
When this goes viral.
It is true.
We're going to have to give him the like few cents that we earned from Spotify.
Here's 25 cents.
Yeah. He's just that kind of guy.
You really showed us this time, Lenny.
Yeah.
Have you guys got any like new hobbies or anything you've gotten into since we've been locked up?
Oh, Ryan, don't start talking about it. Don't tell him our secret.
Yeah, I know. I've had so many like opportunities in the last 20 minutes to just say Animal Crossing.
Oh, you just been like nose diving into it?
No, I love Animal Crossing. I'm assuming it's not your thing, or if that's on your radar.
I never understood it.
I think for me and Taylor, it's a very nostalgic thing. We both played on GameCube.
Nostalgic. I do also find myself in a place where I'm like, why the fuck do I enjoy this?
It's like weirdly relaxing, and like everybody who plays it like will describe it the same way. It's just.
I think it's also a really good example of just hyper voyeurism. It's such an easy like. It's a really good way to live a life absent of stress and.
It's just a happy.
Yeah, I mean it does seem very pleasant. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I think
is great in it.
The cool thing about like Nintendo games like that though is that they don't just play up the nostalgia. It's like all the new ones are still like really good, which goes a long way. Sure. You know what I mean?
They just keep remaking the same game, and like you can't.
They just like fix any little problem they found out about. It's like they fine tune it.
Yeah, it's genius. I was just playing Super Smash. We just got that for Switch, and I was just like, this is the game I played when I was younger, but it's just like these tiny little animation differences.
Yeah, it's just HD
like, they didn't
now.
change it at all, but like they've improved on every aspect somehow.
Right. Yeah, it just has better pixel density now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Very
incredible.
important.
And I mean, like, they'll come out with a Zelda every 7 years, and then it'll be like a top 10 game of all time immediately. And it's like, how do
Yeah.
you guys just keep doing this?
Yeah, and even when they do something that's not the same as the old games, like the new Zelda game, this expansive world, it's dope as shit. It's amazing. It's not this thing that like kind of veers off and then it fails. It's like, man, yeah, I'm super impressed by Nintendo.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, like, I will say I got Mario Kart, like the app one, and I thought,
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, yo, I'm so good at this. And then I found out that it was all fake. And the game
Wait,
just
why is it
sucks.
all fake?
Well, from what I read, you're like basically never actually playing with anyone. You're just playing like weak CPUs the whole time.
Oh, what in
They
Mario Kart?
lied about their online like
I mean, I don't know if they
compatibility.
lied or if it just like doesn't work. I honestly don't like know the full story, but like I've won every race I've ever played on that game. And
You
I was
were
like,
like,
this
I'm
is fishy.
king.
Yeah, I was like, how have I won like 14 races in a row? You know what I mean?
Right.
And somebody told me, they're like, yeah, the game just like sucks. It's just like broken. So I'm
They
like,
like to
oh.
make
Dude.
So they made one little mistake, but it is still hella fun. And then like you just keep winning. So like that's pretty tight.
Yeah, sometimes Nintendo's got to play God and they got to tell you, you're not ready for the real outside world, okay?
Yeah,
We're going to let
absolutely.
you. Yeah.
Well, isn't it weird? Like, actually, I just realized, isn't it weird how this is like the opposite of when Pokemon Go came out?
What do you
I
mean
guess.
by that?
Well, like now everybody's just like stuck inside, and like when Pokemon
Oh
Go came
yeah,
out,
right.
I'd
No one
never seen
went
that
outside.
many people out in public ever,
Yeah, that's
like
a
in my
really good
entire
point.
life.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. I feel like, yeah, I guess Pokemon, people were saying it's kind of crazy that Animal Crossing came out in the time it did and wondering if that was,
Pretty perfect. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
like
know how
there's a
yeah,
much they could have
conspiracy
planned this.
theory.
A conspiracy.
yeah, let's talk about it.
This was
They were
all just an
going back
Animal
to Animal
Crossing play.
Crossing and marketing. Worked out in our favor. We kind of used it to market ourselves, which is another copyright issue that we're getting out there.
Yeah,
Just
that
riling
is
them
a
up.
fascinating one thing we kind of did. Yeah, we used Animal Crossing for a lot of our marketing for the album, and it ended up like the way Ryan put it was just this is the best way to do something that is just kind of teeth pulling, but making it cute and making it easy. And we're just gonna do Animal Crossing because everyone enjoys it, and it was funny because it's a real easy way to get that kind of marketing stuff you have to do for an album out of the way, but very easily because everyone's playing it, you
Right,
know?
and it's like a unique way to go about it too.
Yeah, it's very of the times right now too.
You guys like made like in-game shirts and stuff, right?
Yeah, we made all our merches on Animal Crossing.
Only
We made 'em-
exclusive.
We shot a music video like very seriously. Like we had these scenes that we like laid out.
Oh, in the game?
Yeah,
Oh,
we shot a
yeah.
music video in the game.
That's incredible. Is that
Yeah,
out?
that's for our song.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
YouTube. We can plug that.
Oh my
soon.
god, I missed it. I'm gonna have to go watch that immediately. That sounds awesome.
We had a lot of fun making it. I think too much fun.
I mean, it's kind of like, did you watch like American football's Minecraft thing?
Oh, no, I heard about that.
I've
heard about.
watched it.
I don't even know what that means. Like these like live stream festivals are taking place on Minecraft.
Yeah, I think you
Minecraft
had to
is
like go to
crazy.
the coordinates or something.
I've never played Minecraft. It's like a virtual festival that you can like walk around.
Yes, and then you
Did
could
you do
buy
it, Taylor?
merch. Well, I watched it.
Oh, okay.
I don't have Minecraft, but I think Minecraft is just this expansive ass universe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Minecraft is like sandbox, open world.
Basically, yeah.
So like,
But you could like, yeah,
so-
go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna ask like, so they like built out like a music thing inside of it.
Yeah, so there was 3 stages. I mean, it was just like a festival, and then you
They
could
do,
see
like, a
people
teardown
like
and setup
running
too.
around. I don't know if they Yeah,
That'd be
it was
funny. You
kind of
gotta
like
wait
they
in
just
line to get
stopped
into
it.
Minecraft.
Yeah, the bathroom line was
The
really long.
bathroom line.
But you could buy merch. Like you could go out to the table if you liked the set
Oh,
and click
that's
on a
actually
virtual
cool.
T-shirt, and it would bring you to the website to buy the actual band's T-shirt.
Oh, whoa. That's
I mean,
Right.
that's
It's
pretty
I
like
didn't
sick.
this.
even know about all
Yeah.
this. Yeah, that's cool.
Like, if you're gonna be at home, that's not a bad way to go about it.
And it's starting to feel like this. I've kind of had this thought that this is how, and I'm not going to say this for everyone, but I think for a lot of people, this is a way that we've actually wanted to live for a while and live
What,
our lives
virtually?
through virtual. I mean, in some respects, yes, I think a lot of people, we have everything virtually now. And I think a lot of people feel a lot of comfort at home and being homebodies and living kind of vicariously through like artificial virtual experiences. Because I mean, you can still chat with people. You can chat, like we're doing now, and it just has a lot of. I'm just really interested in how many people have actually found this experience of like quarantine to be something they've wanted for a while, and not to be like looked down upon because they like to stay home, sort of. But a conversation for another day.
No, I mean, I totally get what you're saying. It's like we're definitely, I feel like generationally, like just more homebodies.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
the
That's what I'm
homebodies have been
saying.
training for this all their lives.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I
Well, and I
think
also feel
so.
like part of it is like if you love it, like that's great, like cool. You get to like catch up on what is going on with you. But I also feel like I'm also kind of realizing, okay, like I definitely do like going out more than I thought.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's like okay, I'm definitely
Yeah.
out of it a little bit right now. Like I could use something.
Yeah,
Oh,
at least
totally.
you've
This
had
is
that
way too long.
reflective period, I guess.
Like Ryan, what is your day to day? I mean, are you still like working full
I'm
time or
still
no?
working. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm still
okay.
going in and working.
Ta
Um,
but I mean, like,
so it hasn't changed as much for me.
okay. But I mean, like, how are you managing like the nightlife though? Isn't that still a
But
little
yeah,
weird?
you're right. That's still like, yeah, I come home and I stay home. So I'm on the same page about that,
Okay.
which has been nice initially, like the slowing down aspect of life that you go home and that's it. You don't have to worry about what you're doing at night. But I agree with you that I'm excited to get back out there and appreciate the
Rage.
things that I can't do right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
ready to rage.
Party one out. Taylor, what about you?
I think I've gone back and forth. I think I've felt like extremely depressed and then extremely like weirdly grateful like for the time to make things and to spend with myself. I think I like feel I did lose my job. So I lost my job and so I've had a lot of time to I don't know, just slow down, which I agree with Ryan. I think the slowing down was amazing. Um but yeah, I think it goes back and forth. I think I miss going to shows. I think I was going to things too excessively and I didn't actually enjoy them. And I think this has been a good reflection of um like how adaptable I can be, I guess. But I've also felt, I do miss that. I do miss going to shows and seeing things lives and meeting new people. But the people I do know, I've actually been talking to, I feel like, and having conversations with excessively more.
Right.
Um, yeah, and they feel like conversations that I usually actually don't have at bars. And that's been really nice. So I guess there's something to be said. I think for me personally, I don't feel like there's been a loss of connection, maybe just a transferring of the way that I'm connecting with people. But like I said, it goes back and forth. I feel like some days I feel really depressed and some days I feel excited by it.
Oh
So
yeah, for
I'm not
sure.
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, like, yeah, with what you said, I mean, I feel like there's people that like you wouldn't really call, like you'd maybe be in a group chat with some people, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, we could probably just FaceTime for a couple hours.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh,
exactly.
this is nice. It's like we could have done this all the time anyway.
Yeah, it's a very personal, like, for some reason that FaceTiming is a very but you're right. We could have done it anyway. And it's funny to me that this is what it took in a lot of ways, was
Right.
this kind of
We're kind of
forced
like
isolation.
realizing it now. It's like, oh, we could have been
Yeah.
communicating with people. It's
Right.
what
And
the
that's been a
phone's
real
for.
funny thing. Like, yeah, like we have these things all the time, but I think there's something to be said about, yeah, like having these things but actually using them to connect. I feel like I've been doing that a lot more and using my phone less voyeuristically, but using Animal Crossing extremely voyeuristically.
The balance.
Yeah, the balance.
So, what is your quarantine binge then? What do we got? Give me some recommendations.
I've been binging Parks and Rec. I don't need to recommend that to you.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Same.
But I've seen so many episodes, but I've never like actually watched it in order. So now I'm finally doing that.
Oh, I see. I mean,
Yeah.
the
Did you get through
beginning's
the
kind of
first
rough.
season?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. I've seen that first season, I think 3 times because I've tried to start the
No,
show,
bad.
and that's the mistake.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
even
once you
part of the
get past
second
that,
season is a little spotty.
until that one dude leaves, yeah, he
Mark.
just needs to. Yeah, Mark, is that his name?
Mark Brandanowitz.
Brandanowitz.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
is that guy? He's like in nothing now.
Well, that's
Right.
that's the controversial thing. He left like to be a star, and
He did?
yeah, he left voluntarily, I believe.
Well,
And
what did he leave? What did he leave for a certain project?
I think just to be in movies in general, and I don't think he was.
Wow,
And now,
I've
like
never
every
seen him
other
in
person in
movies.
that
Yeah.
show is in movies.
Yeah, kind of the biggest mistake ever. But they also did replace him with 2 of the best characters in the show. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
he got owned so hard. I feel kind of bad for him.
Yeah. Well, he
I'm
was
just
still
like,
there
how-
when Adam Scott and Rob Lowe. Is that who you're referring to?
That's true, but I mean, you could tell.
But yeah, he did kind of take over. Yeah.
Yeah, he was out the door the second they showed up.
Yeah.
But like, was Brandanowitz supposed to be a Jim type character? I didn't
I think
really
he was supposed to
ever
be, like,
understand what his
Ben-
character was.
Yeah, he just kind of sucked, but he was supposed to be Adam Scott, I guess.
I think that they didn't know who he was going to be either. I think that's the
Okay,
problem.
all right.
Because I mean, clearly, like, they didn't know who Leslie was going to be, and that's why she sucked in the first season, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not as bad as Brandanowitz.
No, I know. Poor Mark Brandanowitz.
Yeah, poor Mark. We
But,
can relate.
like,
Everyone can relate.
he was a victim of the plot. You know what I mean? I don't know.
There's no developing for his character.
Yeah, it couldn't have went
Same.
anywhere because he already had a backstory with Leslie, so it was like there really isn't a way for this to work out.
Right. He was just playing the straight guy, but Adam Scott does it way better.
Absolutely, and I mean,
because he's a nerdy boy.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's like actually him. He normally plays like a douchebag, doesn't he, in movies? But then in Parks and Rec, I
in
feel like
Step
that's just
Brothers
Step
for sure.
Brothers.
Yeah,
Step Brothers is what I was thinking.
but I don't know. He left the show Party Down for Parks and Rec.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he was pretty fucking cool in Party Down. I love that show, but I especially love him in that show.
Awesome. I've never seen it.
Oh, really? So it's about a catering company, but everybody on the entire staff, just like they're in Hollywood, everybody just wants to be famous, so they just kind of fuck around the whole time. And it's just
great. I was down when you said catering staff,
yeah,
honestly.
and it's like all improv, it seems like, and they kind of just fuck around.
Nice.
Everyone on that show kind of blew up way after that show came out.
Yeah,
too.
that's kind of like a wet hot American summer type cast.
Yeah.
Just legendary. Taylor, you been watching anything?
Yeah, we've watched a few things. I just finished this. I really like this show called The OA, and I was searching through the sub for The OA, and they recommended this show called Sense8, which is like a Netflix original, and I just finished watching that. It's kind of a few years old, but I liked it. It's got some sci-fi elements that don't come out until kind of like later in the plot. Really good. And then we've also been watching this show Pen 15. Have you seen that?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
It's like a two full-grown women playing themselves as 13-year-olds. They're in 7th grade.
Okay.
And the whole going through maturity together. And I'm pretty sure that the women that are playing in the show are also the ones that are writing the show. And Andy
Okay.
Samberg is like an executive like
Oh,
producer
what?
on it.
Man,
Okay.
we
So it's
have
got
very
that
Nice.
nice
different
like
recommendations on our feeds.
There we go. Yeah.
yeah,
Wait.
it's a good comedy though.
So are the other people in the show actually the correct age?
They're actually
Okay.
children.
Good.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's wildly you just realize so many of the things that you do as a child are just these like very communal things that many people do as a child and feel as a child. So it's it's very well written.
That
What was
sounds
that show
dope.
called again?
Pen 15, and it's got that
Oh,
like I don't know if you've ever how much Andy Samberg stuff you've watched, but he's got this real like childish humor that's fucking so innocent and so well written. It's like you don't. I feel like I don't come across humor like Andy Samberg's very often, and I always appreciate it.
Yeah, I was actually a pretty anti Sandberg guy for a while, and then I started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine once it got canceled because everybody freaked out, and I was like, oh shit, this is awesome.
Did you like it? Oh, you liked it?
Oh, I
Yeah,
love
we
it.
watch that show all the time.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. And I was like, okay,
But
I
isn't it
get it now. I get it.
right? It's like he just like full force goes into like this like it's not about dicks. It's not about cursing. It's like so innocent. I just feel like I don't come across that type of humor. Like he had this. Have you seen his skit? I mean, it's an SNL thing, but just about throwing shit on the ground.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he's
all the
like,
Lonely Island.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
right.
my dad's not a cell phone. Like this. Yeah, I like Andy Samberg, but yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is great.
Yeah, the Lonely Island guys just put out a musical about these two baseball players who took a lot of steroids, and it's fucking awesome. It's like
Nice.
so weird and obscure, and it's perfect. It's a concept if like these two baseball players made a hip hop record together, and then
Oh man, I feel like that'd be lit.
yeah, and it's on Netflix as like a parody movie as well. It's pretty tight.
Oh my god, a whole movie.
I
Yeah.
love
I
that
would take that.
everybody's just trying to out weird each other.
Yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
there's that new Tim and Eric show called like Beef House. It
Oh
seems
damn, I haven't seen it.
it seems pretty wild. It's like their version of like an old school sitcom. So, but I mean, I feel like everything Tim and Eric just results in like somebody getting stabbed or something.
Yeah, it's become fairly predictable in that way. I
Yeah,
guess.
like their version of everything is just the same show all the time. I feel like those guys are nuts. They kind of scare
Yeah.
me. Their
I feel
shit's
like
freaky.
when they first came out, like it was some real wild shit. But I
Yeah.
think people really caught on to that.
Yeah, it was like the birth of Adult Swim, and I was like 11, so I was like, I can't handle any of this.
I remember watching that Tim and Eric video. Or maybe that was not Tim and Eric, it's an Adult Swim video. They did the series called Off the Air. And they have this video. They were all themed around something. It's a bunch of artists putting shit together, basically. They have this video of an eagle grabbing a goat and dropping it off a mountain. That was the most hysterical thing. That sounds really morbid. I thought that was funny, but it was so hysterical to me when I was like 10 years old for some reason. That's so demented, but it was good.
I mean, that sounds fun. I'm
It
on
was
board.
fun.
I mean, I almost like I wish I had cable. I get it now. That's my
Yeah, I
one
guess
thing is like I can't scroll through these apps and not pick anything anymore. I wish I just had programming to watch.
Hey, like you just turn on the TV and you watch what it gives you.
Yeah, because like I have an antenna, but that's like beyond a thing that you could do because there's nothing good on like ever. So like I can't
At like a certain time, yeah, you can only watch it like prime time.
Right. Otherwise, it's just and there's all these commercials just pandering to old people, like trying to steal their money. It's rough.
So sad.
Man, I didn't realize like that's all who's watching TV is just old people.
Yeah, especially antenna TV because it has like different broadcasts, so it has different ads, dude. They're like the commercials will be like 3 minutes long, just like really trying to explain to you, like really hammering it home that you need
They
to
bought,
buy
like,
this.
6 commercial slots.
It's not. I bet it doesn't cost that much. Like I think we could probably like start making local commercials.
Dude, let's start next market.
Yeah, get Requiem for a Tuesday on that shit.
Yeah, right.
Old
Absolutely.
people, you need to listen to this.
Because I mean, like I don't know, like especially I don't know if you guys watch Better Call Saul, but like he like did a whole commercial thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Man, that's a great show that I need to watch again.
Oh man, the
Looking
fifth.
back, I've only seen the first 2 or 3 seasons, I think.
Oh
so
man,
I'm not caught up.
Just like Breaking Bad, it just keeps getting better as it goes on.
Yeah, I think that show's better than. Well,
it's hard.
Consistently better.
It is consistently better. It's hard to say it. It's like a big commitment.
It is.
It's like trying to say.
I was even holding back.
Yeah.
Like Breaking Bad just has the better premise, but Better Call Saul was like great from the start.
Yes, absolutely. Now I do think that Breaking Bad also just got so good that the beginning seems worse. Cause like it was, I thought it was amazing right away. I remember.
I do too. I feel like that opening scene in Breaking Bad is iconic.
Yeah, the green shirt and the tidy whities.
Oh
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So like, the thing is, like, the 5th season just ended, and it's supposed to be insane, and I can't watch it, so I'm kind of losing it. But yeah, definitely catch up with that show if you haven't. It is unreal.
I'm gonna get on it. I haven't even watched one episode.
Oh my, you are missing
I
out.
Yeah.
Bob Odenkirk, Chicago's own.
Yeah, not
true.
From Naperville, even where.
Really?
Yeah, I think he is, and he's like very vocal about like he's not proud of being from Naperville.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's the other guy that's on Mr. Show? Have you seen Mr. Show?
Oh yeah,
oh of course, David Cross.
Yeah, what is it? David Cross.
Yeah, I feel like now I think both of them are pretty hot on the scene, but I feel like for a while they were just these like underdog heroes that have just been constant in the comedy scene.
Yeah, they were on everything. Bob Odenkirk was on episodes he was on Seinfeld at one point as a guest star.
Wow. You realize all these people are connected.
Yeah, it's pretty like you realize that just like, oh, all these friends helped each other out.
Yeah.
Right, like any other fucking industry.
Yeah.
And then he's a porn star later on Curb.
Yeah, that's right. And he was so good. I mean, he's an improv master.
Yeah.
I'm surprised David Cross hasn't been on Curb.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
I mean, I don't.
Easter egg.
Maybe he has, and I can't think of it. But off the top of my head, I don't think he's been on.
Yeah, I don't know. We've watched like a few seasons of Curb. We always go in and out of it. I really like the show, but I haven't watched it religiously.
I mean, I can see how it could be hard to binge. Like, it's a lot of Larry David to handle. For me, that's what worked. I watched like 6 or 7 seasons in a row. Like before, whenever I started, that's like all that there was at the time. And as it
just Curb.
yeah, as it went on, I found it to be funnier and funnier because it was like my only existence, and I found I was like thinking like this guy.
You get into Larry's head, bro. You do.
You become Larry David.
Yeah,
the more you watch that
absolutely. Show. And then I'm like, he fucking gets it. He's brilliant, and I'm laughing at every fucking word.
That man has made his entire career off of just being himself. What an idea.
Just saying what everybody's thinking.
It's phenomenal.
Right.
He is
and I find myself
he is an icon.
When I would watch that show, I like knew when I was starting to watch it too much because I'd get to the point where I'd be like, you know what? Larry's not really an asshole. He just says what people are thinking.
Right. Absolutely. You're like, I'm gonna start telling people like it is. And it's like, oh, you probably shouldn't.
Watch out for the new Taylor.
I mean, I have noticed that as I've gotten older, I will like, I don't know. I feel like I'll ham up like to like a waitress or something just to like, get better service. Like, you know what I mean? Like I know how to manipulate the system more. And I feel like he just like points out all the flaws in it. And it's like if he never did that, I wouldn't know that I could like get
The
somewhere. You know what I
opposite.
mean? I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I mean? Like if you work against everything he does, then you're going to open up
Mm.
avenues for yourself.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's the way to use the philosophy of Larry David.
Yeah, like if you want to do the opposite of like get kicked out of somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I'm not trying to get screamed at over my breakfast.
Right. Yeah. I guess you could get to the point. Like you only want to be, I don't know if you ever want to be Larry David, but you can afford to be Larry David once you get to Larry David's position of wealth and
Yeah, right.
celebrity level.
It's
Yeah.
pretty easy for that guy to complain when he's got $1 billion.
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like we are running out of time. I just wanted to thank the both of you for being on the show.
For
Yeah,
sure.
thanks
Thanks
for
for
having us,
having
man.
us. It was fun.
Of course. Please plug everything again. I hope everybody goes and checks out the album. Yeah, go nuts.
You want me to do it again, Taylor? You got this.
Yeah, I'm scared.
I'll probably mess it up too. You can find us on Instagram at Lenny is cool, spelled Lenny IZ cool, and then also on Spotify, Apple Music. I think we're on TikTok too, as Lenny
Ooh,
is cool.
exciting.
Yeah.
Very
Most
time.
important.
Yeah, our music is on there. I am not.
We also have that
uh,
YouTube video.
the
We got the
YouTube video we
YouTube
mentioned.
video.
How do we find
It's
that?
for-
Oh wait, our name on YouTube is might just be Lenny. Yeah, this is very confusing.
Yeah, if you type in Lenny is cool on YouTube, the name of the song is That's What Makes Me Cool. So it's full circle. That one.
Okay, that
Perfect.
Work, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I also literally just looked it up, but we're also on YouTube. Our music's on YouTube.
There we go.
Yeah, so
On
many
all,
streaming things.
genuinely all platforms. Even better.
Genuinely.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thanks again, and stay safe. Everybody, go check out the album.
Cool. Thanks, dude.
Thanks, man. This is fun.
All right. So that was me and Lenny. Just hanging out, being buds. Some real cool people making some real cool stuff. Hope you check it out. Catch you guys on the next one. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that. That's MKVHD's thing. My bad, bro. You're killing it. Maybe one day we'll hang out. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this one up. Just please don't forget, never forget, I are fat, you are fat, we are fat. Calculator, everybody. Peace.